You know, he's done a phenomenal job with Tank from the very, very beginning. Also want to speak on Coach.
Leonard Ellerbe has just dropped a heartbreaking update ahead of Gervonta Davis' December fight against Lamont Roach. Well, it may not be heartbreaking for many who would instead perceive any threat to the December 14th fight as good news.
Kenny Ellerbe, two excellent trainers. Excellent trainers. Those guys don't get their just due. And it kind of reminds, you know what it actually kind of reminds me of? And I'm not comparing the.
But according to Leonard Ellerbe, Gervonta Davis just sustained a rather serious knee injury while training as he was ready to take on Lamont Roach. And with Gervonta Davis' announcement, it appears like an injury curse is sweeping through the world champion ranks. It was the lightweight champion of the World Boxing Council before becoming the lightweight champion of the World Boxing Association. Gervonta Davis has also hurt his knee while practicing for his bout in December, suggesting that professional boxers in the lightweight class are experiencing an oddity in their training sessions.
That means it hurt.
With this, maybe the boxing community will forgive Shakur Stevenson, who is criticized for being the softest fighter of this age after he hurt his wrist during a spar. This is quite disheartening and detrimental for Gervonta Davis, who is trying to fight twice this year after being sidelined for more than 14 months due to a number of problems following his battle with Ryan Garcia. He was able to return in 2023 with a spectacular knockout victory in the 8th round against Frank Martin, who was the more active fighter when they faced off. However, only 6 months after his triumph, the Baltimore native has chosen to set up a huge fight. Gervonta Davis may be out for a considerable amount of time due to a knee injury.
That means it hurt.
Time, which indicates that it hurts well, given that he hasn't faced any of his best opponents or tried to unite the lightweight class. Many have questioned his boxing goals, which is undoubtedly bad for his career. He has returned to full training in preparation for his bout against Lamont Roach in December, and the injury occurred during a leg session. He damaged his knee while using the gym equipment to strengthen and extend his legs at the start of this full training camp this month. He continued his sparring despite the pain. At that moment, he realized the extent of his damage. Lamont Roach found himself on the ground as those nearby rushed to assist him, untangling his gloves and adjusting his shoulders. Although his injury was initially classified as minor, it may require him to sit out of boxing until next year if he hopes for a full recovery. This is particularly disheartening for Roach, who has been preparing for a pivotal fight in his career. With this upcoming bout against Tank Davis looming, he might need to consider facing another opponent in December, depending on Gervonta Davis' recovery. Gervonta's decision to team up with Roach has stirred significant buzz in the boxing world. Promoter and insider Rick Glazer broke the news, indicating that Roach will be moving up a weight class to lightweight for the fight against Tank Davis. Glazer announced via social media that Roach, the reigning World Boxing Association 130-pound champion, would compete at 135 pounds for this one matchup, scheduled for December. Both fighters are from Maryland, which could mean the fight will take place in the DMV area. Further details regarding the fight are still being finalized, and it is expected to occur in Washington, as both athletes represent Maryland. This would have marked Tank Davis' second fight of the year after a lengthy absence from the ring. However, Tank's recent injury has put everything in jeopardy. The premier boxing champions have yet to make an official statement about the fight, leaving fans eager for updates. The choice to pit Roach against Davis was unexpected, as he had not been considered a leading candidate for the matchup until now. With these developments, the boxing community remains on edge, awaiting clarity on the future of these fighters and the implications of Tank's injury on their plans. With names like Shaq Stevenson and Vasyl Lomachenko being mentioned, fans anticipated a major fight. Although Roach had plenty of talent in the lightweight division, that obvious weight difference was one of the reasons no one took him seriously as a Davis contender. Having a super featherweight as the next opponent is sure to leave boxing fans perplexed. And as was to be expected, the news that Rick Glazer broke did not go over well with them.
That I think that could be Tank. That would be Devin, that would be Shakur, and Tank Davis himself.
You got the last one right. That's the only person that can beat me, Gervonta.
It's interesting to note that Devin Davis hasn't been injured in over 18 months. He got around it back then, and the struggle really continued. In the boxing world, Davis is well known. The boxer, who was born in Maryland, has won championships in 3 different weight classes. Davis had an injury case that went viral when he was set to face Ryan Garcia in Las Vegas on April 15th of last year. Davis was in the news at the same time that the Chiefs won their 4th Super Bowl. Fans naturally had a lot of questions after seeing Davis in a difficult situation.
That's a real good fight. I would love to see that. That's a scrappy. That'd be a scrappy fight.
How you?
After suffering an ankle injury, star boxer Tank Davis needed a wheelchair to navigate the Super Bowl on Sunday. Despite this setback, he told TMZ Sports that he expects to be healthy for his upcoming fight. The details of when and how seriously he was injured remain unclear, but as he left the game at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, Davis reassured fans that he's okay. He remarked, "Stuff happens all the time," acknowledging that the timing of the injury wasn't ideal, especially as he was in discussions for a super fight against rival Ryan Garcia, with a proposed date of April 15 for the highly anticipated bout. If the fight agreement is finalized, Davis would have just 2 months to recover in time. He shared a video on his Twitter account addressing the rumors surrounding his injury, aiming to set the record straight ahead of the match with Garcia, which is one of the most eagerly awaited lightweight contests in recent boxing history. As the situation unfolds, fans are left hopeful for a successful recovery and an exciting showdown in the ring.
Fight coming up. You gotta beat it, bro.
There's a fight coming up.
He's talking to me, dog. You gotta beat it, bro. Bro, Tank's talking to me. No, he ain't talking to you. He's talking to me right now.
When Davis was spotted wheeling in a wheelchair during the Philadelphia Eagles versus Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl game, rumors began to circulate regarding his injuries. Additionally, the combatant retweeted the news post by adding a personal note telling everyone to stop talking. Kingry of TMZ didn't hold back while discussing the matter. "Remain focused, champion," the fighter tweeted. "There is going to be a fight on the TMZ post." Fans were concerned about Davis' epic battle with GICA after seeing him in a wheelchair, but Davis allayed their fears with the most recent post. Ultimately, Davis defeated Ryan Garcia in their Las Vegas blockbuster in April of last year, earning him the fight's breakthrough victory. Nevertheless, he was sentenced to 44 days in prison for breaking the rules. Initially slated to escape jail time, Davis received a sentence at the beginning of May for his hit-and-run automobile accident in November 2020 that left 4 people injured. Tank Davis avoided a custodial sentence after accepting a plea deal for 4 traffic offenses, resulting in a 90-day home detention instead. However, just a month later, Davis reportedly did not adhere to the terms of the sentence. The Baltimore Banner reported that he was jailed after it was revealed he had been staying at the Four Seasons Hotel in Baltimore and a luxury condo he recently bought in Silo Point instead of the home of his longtime trainer and father figure, Calvin Ford. Davis, 28, had been sentenced on May 5 for causing the hit-and-run accident in November 2020 in Baltimore. The terms of this sentence included 90 days of home detention, 3 years of probation, and 200 hours of community service. Judge Althea M. Handy specifically ordered that he serve his home detention at Ford's one-bedroom home. However, Davis's attorney, Michael Tomko, never sought permission to change his living arrangements following the sentencing. Tomko argued that Davis' home was too small, leading him to stay at the Four Seasons, which was not approved. As a result, the judge determined that Davis violated the terms of his home detention. Consequently, he was ordered to serve the remainder of his 90-day sentence in jail. During a hearing late Thursday afternoon, Davis was taken into custody at Baltimore Central Booking. Tomko accepted responsibility during the hearing, stating that Davis was merely following his lawyer's advice. He emphasized that Davis couldn't live with Ford due to space limitations in the one-bedroom apartment for his security team. Tomko also mentioned that Davis moved from the Four Seasons to a recently purchased $3.4 million condo because he believed it was a safer location. They were reportedly caught off guard by the judge's decision to enforce home confinement in Baltimore, especially since Davis had previously resided in Parkland, Florida, but Judge Handy preferred he serve his sentence in Baltimore. Davis received his 90-day sentence after pleading guilty in February to a crash that injured 4 people. Following his release, he expressed his anger and frustration on social media regarding the restrictions imposed on him, which hindered his ability to train. The incident has not only impacted his personal life, but also his career, as he navigates the consequences of the legal issues while aiming to return to the ring. Overall, the situation reflects a serious oversight in adhering to legal obligations and has led to significant consequences for the boxer, who is now facing jail time rather than the home confinement he initially anticipated. The unfolding events have left fans in the boxing community watching closely as Davis works through these challenges.
Than Roach, but Roach can box, but to me, he's more of an inside fighter. He fight better on the inside.
And Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach is gritty, man.
The matchmaking between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach has not impressed most people, including Devin Haney, the current Global Boxing Council super lightweight champion and former undisputed lightweight champion, whose rustiness may pose a major problem after he heals from his last fight injury. Calvin Ford had brought attention to Gervonta Davis, was always making every effort to combat rustiness. He performed admirably in training, but it was a major factor in comparison to the more active Frank Martin. Compared to Gervonta Davis, who has been incarcerated and sustained an injury during his absence, Frank Martin experienced less issues during his absence. Even though his last match was almost 11 months ago,